Fernandez and Salah essential. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the unofficial tribe. Once again, I've got a great video for you guys today. Before we get into the video, if you're new around here or if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Subscribe to the tribe. It's free, it costs nothing, and you can always change your mind. So today in this video, we're going to be looking at John Chappell's best tip going into the season for new managers. He had a phenomenal season last season, and I know at times in the season he was #1 in the world, guys. That is insane. And he finished off coming 22nd, which is mind-boggling. I have so much admiration for him coming 22nd in the world, guys. That is a huge achievement. So what is his best tip for us? Well, John Chappell's best tip, guys, is that consistency is the best differential. So what does he mean by consistency, guys? And I honestly think it reaches into very many different aspects of FPL. It's consistency in your plan, sticking consistent with what you want to do throughout the season. It's consistency in your game week scores, making sure that you're trying to get as many points on average throughout a period of time, instead of trying to go for what he calls slam dunk weeks, where you take hits, try bring in big players. You know, you're wasting a lot of points. You try to get these big game weeks where you get many points, but then afterwards your team's not going to get that many points after that. So it's just being consistent and trying to, you know, set up your team so that on average you will always get like a good average of points. This also ties into captaincy, guys, and honestly in FPL the best way to go about captaining players is you should be captaining premiums, guys. That's what they're there for in the game. He says just captaining consistently the best premium players for those respective game weeks is the best way to maximize the points that you get from captaincy, guys. I mean, these premiums are priced at 12.5 million, 12 million, you know, because they are there to be captained. If you don't captain a player like that, they're not worth having in your team. So going differential with your captains, yes, it might pay off once or twice, but that's not consistent, guys. It's not always going to work out. And you'll find on average, if you captain the premium players, the right premium players for the week, you will, on average, beat other managers in regards to captaincy. Also, another aspect that consistency affects is, you know, going for players that are the best in their respective roles and not just trying to go differential because you don't want to follow the herd, so to speak. So a good example of this is, you know, Salah is around 40% owned by the FPL community, and you might think, well, that's way too much. If I own Salah and I captain him, I'm just going to be doing as well as the other managers. Well, no, like it doesn't work like that. If you go for Mane because you think, well, Mane is only 5% owned, so if Mane does well, then I'm going to be getting a leg up on other players. It doesn't work like that, guys. If Mane does well but Salah does equally as well or even better, you're in an equal or losing position. So in that case, Salah is hands down the best option to go for. We wouldn't go for Mane. So this can be applied to every position in FPL, guys. If there are good forwards, you should pick them, even if they're highly owned. When it comes to ownership with those sort of players, it doesn't really matter, guys. If you have 11 players in your team that are all 100% owned, but they get the most points, you're still going to be winning. And that's just the simple fact of the game, guys. Yes, there are some concerns with having players that are highly owned but aren't really, you know, proven, or they're not going to do that well. Their XG, their XA is not that good, and if they're highly owned and they don't do well, which they're predicted to not do well, then when players transfer them out, guys, of course their value is going to go down and you're going to lose team value, which is, you know, it's very important in FPL to have a good team value. So where the consistency comes in, guys, is we need to do our own research. We need to watch YouTubers. We need to look on FPL Twitter, you know. We need to look at the statistics, or find someone that looks at the statistics and gives them to you guys. We need to find out in which positions are the best players to have. And a good example where you might want to go differential is maybe in the midfield, guys, because right now there aren't any standout options in those midfield roles. So if you see that, let's say, Grealish is highly owned, guys, but you look at Grealish's stats and you see the way that he plays in Aston Villa's setup, you don't think he's going to do that well, then there's your potential to go differential. It's a great example, guys. So then you could go for, you know, someone that's less owned, like an Al Ghazi. I want to say Rafinha, but he is kind of highly owned. But there are different players out there. Saka, Pepe, Mahrez is also not that highly owned. You know, that's where we can go differential. But when it comes to the good players with good fixtures that are highly owned, we should still have them in our teams, and we shouldn't be concerned with ownership. So honestly, this quote from John is very insightful, guys, and it really does apply to all aspects of FPL. It's something that we should always have at the forefront of our minds. And guys, this is an FPL legend. I mean, he has done very well in FPL. He's very well established in FPL, coming 22nd in the world, guys. Yes, a part of that is luck, but you have to make your own luck. You need to know the right plays to make. You have to be consistent, and that's what John is. He's a consistent player, and that works in FPL. As much as you want to go differential and you want to, you know, bring in this player and that player, and you think this player is going to do well, we have to look at the facts, guys, and we have to be consistent with how we play. Alright guys, that is all for this video. I want to say big thanks to John Chappell. His Twitter will be here. We'll put it right here. Follow him on Twitter. Honestly, he has amazing insight. He's a funny guy, and I really appreciate his support. If you've enjoyed this content, or if you found it informative, please subscribe to the tribe. It's free, it costs nothing, and you can always change your mind. We are on our path to getting 1,000 subscribers, guys. That is absolutely amazing. I never thought we'd even get close. Obviously, in 2 weeks, if we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will dye my hair like Phil Foden. So that's something to look forward to. That's a goal that we can all achieve. And yeah, thank you so much for the support, guys. Cheers.